I want to be your husband, not just a lover passing time, but a man who stays. When days feel ordinary, I want to be your husband who protects your peace, not disturbs your calm, not confuses your heart. I want to be your husband who chooses you daily, not only when convenient, but even when difficult. I want to be your husband who leads with patience, not ego, not control, but understanding and respect. I want to be your husband who listens before reacting, who understands before judging, who stays before walking away. I want to be your husband who builds a safe home emotionally, mentally, spiritually, where love can breathe freely. I want to be your husband who keeps promises quietly, without announcements or drama, just consistency and effort. I want to be your husband who stands beside you in public and private, in strength and vulnerability. I want to be your husband who values loyalty deeply, not as restriction, but as conscious choice. I want to be your husband who grows with you, learns with you, evolves without leaving you. I want to be your husband who protects your dignity in every conversation, in every situation. I want to be your husband who doesn't disappear emotionally, who doesn't escape responsibility, who doesn't fear commitment. I want to be your husband who chooses stability over temporary excitement, over careless freedom. I want to be your husband who supports your dreams without competing or controlling, without jealousy or insecurity. I want to be your husband who becomes better daily, not for applause, but for our future. I want to be your husband who respects your individuality, yet builds unity with you without losing either. I want to be your husband who stays calm in storms, who becomes your shelter, not another problem. I want to be your husband who ages with you, who grows old with you, who remains yours always. I want to be your husband, not perfectly, but sincerely and permanently. I want to be your husband who wakes up choosing you, not by habit or obligation, but by love and clarity. I want to be your husband who carries responsibility calmly, not running from pressure, not hiding behind excuses. I want to be your husband who plans a future, not just romantic moments, but stable, meaningful years. I want to be your husband who understands your silence and respects your space without feeling threatened. I want to be your husband who earns your trust through actions repeated daily, not through dramatic promises. I want to be your husband who stands firm for you, even when misunderstood, even when alone. I want to be your husband who protects the relationship from outside interference, from careless opinions. I want to be your husband who communicates honestly, even when conversations feel hard, even when truth feels heavy. I want to be your husband who accepts your emotions without labeling them weakness, without minimizing your feelings. I want to be your husband who grows emotionally mature, not reactive, not impulsive, but thoughtful and steady. I want to be your husband who values peace at home more than ego outside, more than winning arguments. I want to be your husband who apologizes when wrong, who corrects himself willingly, without pride blocking growth. I want to be your husband who celebrates your individuality, your strength, your softness, your independence and dreams. I want to be your husband who becomes your teammate, not your opponent, not your authority. I want to be your husband who handles conflict respectfully, without insults or silence, without emotional withdrawal. I want to be your husband who remains consistent when excitement fades, when routine settles in. I want to be your husband who chooses discipline over temptation, over momentary desire. I want to be your husband who builds trust slowly, brick by brick, day by day. I want to be your husband who supports your healing without rushing the process, without judging the scars. I want to be your husband who shares responsibility equally, emotionally and practically, not leaving weight on you. I want to be your husband who stays emotionally present, not distracted, not distant, but fully involved. I want to be your husband who protects your name in conversations without you, in rooms you never enter. I want to be your husband who respects boundaries naturally, not because of rules, but because of values. I want to be your husband who creates emotional safety where vulnerability feels allowed, where honesty feels safe. I want to be your husband who doesn't compete with you, but complements your strengths and supports your growth. I want to be your husband who values long-term love over temporary passion, over short-lived excitement. I want to be your husband who thinks before acting, who listens before responding, who understands before deciding. I want to be your husband who builds a calm life, not chaos disguised as love, not drama mistaken passion. I want to be your husband who stands by you when life feels heavy, when joy feels distant. I want to be your husband who protects your peace as his responsibility, not as your bird.